Right, let's get into some of the more news-based items before we go into some fairly heavy pieces near the end. But this is also more good news. These criminals are now being caught, and it's also a warning. And the Los Angeles City Councilman Jose Huizar, who was arrested and charged with racketeering last month in an ongoing pay-to-play probe, now faces additional charges including bribery and money laundering, according to federal prosecutors this Thursday. Now, the new charges were included in a 34-count grand jury indictment, expanding on an earlier allegations that Huizar headed up a criminal enterprise that leveraged his power at City Hall for financial gain, aiding real estate developers who handed over bribes including cash, free flights, casino chips and other perks. And the 113-page indictment also includes claims that others conspired with Huizar in the scheme, including a former deputy mayor who previously headed the Department of Building and Safety. Now, federal prosecutors allege that Huizar agreed to accept at least $1.5 million in illicit financial benefits, and he is now the fifth person to be charged in the ongoing investigation, which has netted guilty pleas from the former Huizar aide George Esparza, real estate consultant George Chiang, political fundraiser Justin Kangu Kim, and former councilman Mitchell Englander. Now, Chiang allegedly was part of a criminal enterprise to funnel $66,000 on lavish trips to China and Hong Kong to an LA councilman believed to be Huizar, in exchange for approval of an 80,000 square foot commercial project and other downtown developments. And the indictment alleges that Huizar tried to cover up the illicit money in several ways, including guiding his aide on how to avoid bank reporting requirements and using family members to launder hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. And it also alleges he made false statements to the federal prosecutors and also the FBI. Now, Huizar is scheduled to be arraigned on Monday, and attorneys for the councilman have previously stated that Huizar intends to respond to the government allegations in court, and is now being represented by attorneys from the federal public defender, one of whom declined to comment. Now, adds to the claim made by this show that China was sold to the Chinese consortium a few years back, does it not? What was his name? Mr. Chiang, political fundraiser Justin Yang Wu Kim, trips to China and Hong Kong. Now, the reality is the Asian greed-based clowns own most of the West Coast, and in particular Vancouver. Iran has caught an alleged ringleader of a group of Iranian exiles in California, accused of carrying out terrorist attacks against the Islamic Republic, according to the country's Ministry of Intelligence. Now, the leader of Tondar, which is Persian for thunder, identified as Yamshid Sharmalad, was captured in an intelligence operation last Saturday, and the US-based group seeks to overthrow the Iranian government and return of the country's monarchy that ruled the country prior to the revolution and the fall of the Shah in 1979. CIA. Oops. Now, Sarmad was apprehended while leading armed and sabotage operations inside Iran, according to a government statement, and it's not clear under what circumstances he was arrested. Now, his biography on Tondar's website claims he emigrated to Los Angeles in 2003, and in a statement, the Iranian intelligence ministry said it had dealt a heavy and serious blow to the group, and the ministry said it would release more details about the operation at a later time. Now, Tehran has accused Tondar of being behind a number of terrorist attacks, including a 2008 bombing of a mosque in the southern city of Shiraz, which killed 14 and injured 202. Now, despite its connections to violent acts carried out on Iranian soil, Tondar is not currently listed as a terrorist group by the US State Department. Oh my. And Tehran claims that Tondar has been able to raise funds and organize these attacks from its Los Angeles headquarters without interference from Washington. Now, the group operates radio and television stations which they call for the violent overthrow of the Iranian government, and the US has refused requests by Tehran to shut down Tondar's operations. Now, the arrest comes amid growing tensions between Washington and Tehran, and the Trump administration has openly supported protests and other anti-government actions in Iran. Last month, Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani attended the Free Iran Global Summit, which is hosted by the National Council of Resistance of Iran, which has called for the overthrow of the Iranian government. Now, this article is not as clear-cut as made out in this piece and has a number of other angles to it. For one, it was the CIA who installed their puppet in Iran back in 1979 and was nothing to do with Iranians. Two, the Ayatollah Khamenei is in bed with Bush, Obama and Netanyahu for the free or cheap oil deal, mainly going out of Iraq, largely being sold to China. But the questions arise is, why are they allowed in California? Why haven't the US government shut down Tondar's operations? Does the deep state and CIA now want a new puppet? And four, is this all a faction game?